What's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Do you support Trump?
I'm Republican.
Like if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, or you could choose not to vote, would you? Who would you vote for?
I would vote for Trump.
Okay. And what was your birth year?
2007,
And what month you born?
February.
Okay. Alrighty. And why do you support Trump?
Well, I've actually like really looked into it because I watch you and Dean a lot, and because I genuinely I want to like understand y'all's side of stuff. Um, but I support like the Republican because well, I'm Christian and I know you're an atheist, so like we're not gonna believe the same morally when it comes to like when life begins and things of that nature. But I actually have a question. Um, if like the adoption list for abortion, like if sorry, um, abortion, there's like a million abortions every year in America. I believe that was like the statistic. Um, and there's 1 to 2 million families on the adoption wait list every year. So like my question would be, why not? Because like I said, we're not going to agree because of our morals are different about like just when abortion is right or whatever. But like with adoption, like why not just replace abortion with adoption?
Because it forces people to go through pregnancies they don't want to go through against their will, and they have to incur financial risks, psychological risks, physiological risks. People can die from pregnancy, can have medical complications for the rest of their life. They can become infertile. And it should be up to the determination, the choice of the person who's going through it, right? Because I think it's an incredibly invasive thing to ask someone to do, right, for so long, push the galaxy. I don't think that's an obligation that someone has to uphold, especially for an entity that's not sentient. Right? I believe cellular life begins at conception. I just don't believe it's valuable until 20 through 24 weeks with sentient life. That's what I consider to be valuable because I think that death happens at the point of brain death, right? And that's what legally it's defined as right now as well. So if we think that life is defined or death is defined at brain death, then life should be defined at brain life.
Okay. So like what about like the heartbeat? Like that matters like nothing.
No, that's not the basis for sentient life. Like
Hmm.
in brain dead individuals, there's a heartbeat.
Yes, that's true. Um, okay. I mean, I still, I guess, because my religion and stuff, I still like, I don't believe it's right. I also am curious.
Nothing about your
I believe
religion means you
that,
have to think it's wrong, by the way.
huh?
Nothing about your religion means you have to think it's wrong. You can agree with my position and still be Christian.
Well, I use the King James version of the Bible, and it says in there that everyone is created in God's image, and so I believe that if we're created in God's image, then we shouldn't be killing that.
So then you think it's murder to pull the plug on an individual in your family that's brain dead?
Um, I don't know. I feel like if the doctor's saying that I don't know, I think it just depends.
Yeah, the doctor says they're dead, they're never coming back, but they still have cellular life, right? Do you think that you're going to think it's murder to pull the plug?
Um, I wouldn't say that it's murder if that person has their, oh, what is it called? Like if their, like family member has, power, I think is it power, like, is like fulfilling their like wishes and like, of that sense, like if say like someone battled cancer and their
Let's
wish
say there's
was,
nothing established, and an entire family
mhm.
determines to pull the plug on an individual in their family that's brain dead, and they had nothing established in terms of paperwork saying for what they would want or what they wouldn't want in that scenario. What do you think should happen?
Then I guess they would just have to do whatever they thought was best for that person and their family.
JW, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So, do you think it would be murder if they were to pull the plug?
No, I don't think it would be murder.
Thank you very much, Misa Mom. Thank you. Okay, even though they still are cellular life. So if you don't think it's murder in the instance in which they're cellular life, well then you can totally agree with my position and still be Christian because you could think it's not murder to end cellular life.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know. For me, like, I understand where you're coming from. I just think for me, it's wrong when you like hear about like the baby can feel pain and we're aborting it. Like, how is that? Like, why would she? I don't know.
Why
And
would I
like
think that's
also,
okay? In the same way that I don't think it's wrong to pull the plug on an
right, but is
individual in your
that
family that's
person
brain
gonna
dead
feel
because the
pain?
notion of life that I value doesn't begin until 20 through 24 weeks.
Right. See, I don't think would like agree with that because for me, like, I think it, at conception is when it's, we should consider it a life and a baby and we shouldn't,
Well, it's a
I don't
life at
know. I just,
conception. No one's disputing that. But it's
mm-hmm,
cellular life. It's a different notion of life than what you are going to value for individuals that are brain dead, right? Like,
mm,
you don't think it's murder to pull the plug on an individual and family that's brain dead, even though they have that exact same notion of life that a zygote has.
right.
So the
I
point
don't
that
know.
I'm
I
making is that
think,
you can be Christian and still be pro-choice.
no, I'm not saying that. I think there are Christians who are pro-choice but for me, I just don't think it's right, if that makes sense.
You could think it's not right for you, but then also at the same time think it should be legal for other people to get access to.
Right. But I wouldn't support somebody who, like, I'm not saying because I get Trump has a different stance on abortion and things, than I do, but I,
Can I ask you a
I
question?
just,
Actually, I'm curious. If you knew that when someone was 18 years old, they had an abortion, one of your friends,
mhm.
right? But let's say that they're against it now, would you still stay friends with them?
um, well, I would if they think it's wrong now.
Okay. If when they were 18, they murdered a person, but they think it's wrong now, would you stay friends with them?
I mean, if they went to jail and got charged and everything and,
No,
got
let's
right
say they
about
murdered
it,
a person but didn't go to jail. Would you stay friends with them?
well, I would report them to the police. I would be like, hey,
Let's say that it's not possible for you to do. Like, would you stay friends with them?
no. But
You
I
wouldn't?
also,
So wait, so you don't think that you're murdering a person when you get an abortion?
I think you're murdering a baby. I think
So babies aren't people?
I don't like I would be friends with somebody who had an abortion. I wouldn't hold something they did, especially if they got right about it and got saved. But also
But if you really thought it was murdering a person, you wouldn't be friends with them.
right, but if they changed. Like
Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
even if
I'm
they
saying if
changed and they
they
murdered a person, you said you wouldn't be friends with them.
right, I think I don't know.
It sounds like you don't think it's murdering a person, or at least you value it differently. And that's why you would stay friends with someone who got an abortion yet now thinks it's wrong, but you wouldn't be friends with someone who murdered a person but now thinks it's wrong.
Right. But I feel like abortion, you said that like oh it can cause like psychological pain. That's why we shouldn't just, go to adoption in the sense of, because there are almost double the amount of people on the adoption list than there are like waiting to get a baby than
Well,
there
then you could
are
promote
on
adoption for individuals who are in that circumstance or incentivize it, but not force people.
right, but like abortions they cause like they can like cause harm to the mother and they can, do a lot of things that um like cause actual like psychological
Do you want to pay
like
people?
huh?
Have the government pay people to go through pregnancy to then go through adoption?
I don't I mean that could be like a thing, I mean like I don't know if that's like what you're meaning by that.
Yeah, they could just get paid because it would be surrogacy essentially.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't see anything wrong with that. I think that would be beneficial to the country.
Okay, so do you think forced surrogacy should be able to occur?
It's not forcing them.
It is. If you're making it illegal, you're forcing them to go through what you deem to be surrogacy because you want the kid to go to the adoption.
I'm just saying it could. be a very, I feel like adoption's really overlooked, especially when it comes to people. I feel like a lot of people just jump to straight to abortion and think, oh, this is the way we need to go, just abort it. Whereas I feel like adoptions should be pushed more, and taught more about, because there are so many people on the waiting list to adopt a baby. And
Okay.
it's not like these are some random people. These people have been like background checked and
Are you going to
screened,
adopt?
and I would love to.
Why don't you adopt right now?
Well, I'm not married, and I would want to be married and, have a home and a family first.
Maybe, what if like a person your age also wants that, and that's why they got an abortion?
I'm not saying I'm saying then that would be their chance to put a baby up for adoption and give one of these families who have been waiting and
But they have to
looking for
set
that.
aside their career for 9 months to do that.
You don't have to set aside their
More
career for
than nine
nine
months,
months.
actually. More than 9 months. Yeah, you do.
You can still work being pregnant.
So how long should they work during the whole pregnancy?
I mean, up to the point where they can't comfortably. And then I do actually think that we should have people like connected, like families already connected, where they could, help out the mother.
Okay. So okay, so then push the galaxy, thank you. So in those circumstances, do you think there should be paid maternal leave?
I do actually.
Do Republicans advocate for that?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it.
Can you name a single child care, health care, or paid maternity leave policy that Republicans have advocated for?
Not off the top of my head. I'm not sure. I would have to look into it and do more research. I'm just saying I feel like it would be a good alternative instead of constantly promoting
I just want you that there is no
insane.
example. Do you think the best way to
Right.
get people to go through the adoption services is rather to incentivize people to go through adoption, right? If they're in these
Mhm.
circumstances, or do you think it's by forcing them to go through a pregnancy?
I think they should. I think incentivizing would help, but I think when there's that many people, then it would be like beneficial, and I don't know. I feel like it would cause less harm to the mother to give a baby up for adoption than it would to go through having an abortion.
Okay. So you think but should they be able to make that choice themselves?
I mean,
Because that sounds like
I don't
that's the
know.
best choice for you, but I don't think that would necessarily be the same analysis for everyone else, right?
I guess not. Like I guess like people could have a different, it just depends on the person, I suppose.
Right. So like who's to say that your analysis here should also be applicable to everyone else?
Right. I suppose like I'm not saying it is like, like all that. I'm just saying, it's a better alternative in my opinion because
Well,
a baby gets
that's
spared a
for
little
your
more.
life. That's for you, right? But like
No, I
for
think
someone
it's a
else,
better
they might see
alternative
the
for a
better
lot of
alternative
people.
to get an abortion. And if they saw the better alternative was to get an abortion, do you think it should be illegal for them to get an abortion?
I don't know. Actually, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Um, the governor of, I want to say it was Massachusetts, just signed a bill for abortion to be legal up to the day of birth. I'm curious of what your thoughts
After
are on that.
viability, it's an induction of labor. So it doesn't lead to the death of the fetus.
But you think all the way up to the day of birth, like you think that like an abortion, that there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I don't believe in laws because I think that the laws would restrict people from getting it in situations of exception rather than preventing people from getting it in elective circumstances in which I deem it to be morally wrong. So I think it would have more negative outcomes than positive outcomes when it comes to like a law. But for elective lethal after the point of sentience, I think it's wrong.
Okay. So like you would disagree with that bill being signed.
I mean, no.
So you think it's okay for people to get an abortion like
Yeah,
up to the day of
if
birth?
abortion is defined as a termination of pregnancy, I don't think it's okay to get elective lethal after sentience.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So, so here's my question. How do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump's laws allowed for that?
I
Because
think
him
the
leaving it up to the
intent
states allows for that, right?
right, but I think the intent behind um, the the intent behind reversing Roe v. Wade, I think the intent behind that was to decrease it. So I don't think that Donald Trump caused more abortions. I think more people decided to get abortions after it. But in the sense of, I think his intent was, hey, we're going to leave it up to the states and let the states decide and hope that it doesn't cause more abortions.
And how do you feel about the fact that we've seen an increase in the amount of abortions that have occurred since the overturning of Roe versus Wade?
I think it's sad. I think it's wrong.
Okay. So do you care more about saving innocent human lives or restricting access to abortion?
Well, what about like, I know you call it a zygote, but like, that's a life.
Yeah, even
You
considering that.
really? You think because wait, how many human lives? I've heard you do this debate before. How many human lives is like 14 million?
Yeah, yeah. The cuts to USAID will lead to 14 million deaths by 2030, according to a Lancet study. Additional deaths. So that's
And
significantly
what is
more
that like
lives saved.
from? Like
Well,
like those lives like specifically like who are they?
like
Like
people
is it
around the world due to like funding that we had for disease prevention, for expanding access to clean water, and like basic necessities.
so do you think we should help people in other countries before we help like people in America?
I think we should help both. I mean, the USAID was a very small portion of the budget. Actually, Doge spent more on its own operations than they saved in all of their
Mm,
cuts. So the cuts are a very small portion of our budget, very, very
mm-hmm.
small portion, yet it saves millions of lives. So if we can use a very, very small portion of our budget, like pennies on the dollar for us, and we can save millions of lives, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's like for basic disease prevention, which by the way helps our country because if disease is spreading less around the world, that helps us because disease is less likely to spread to us. Plus, then there's more people around the world who are working within the economy to produce products within their own systems, which benefits their own countries, which inevitably benefits us through trade in the long run.
So I think we should try to save both as many lives as possible, which I don't think we would have to pick between saving babies. I know you don't consider them baby, but um, consider saving like human life that's in the womb. And I think we should also try to help people as
Yeah, even if
well.
you consider that, like the amount that you're going to save from supporting Trump and voting for Trump is very, very minimal,
Right. Well,
right?
I
Like
don't
you have no
support.
evidence you're going to save any, actually, like according to the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And I would argue that his policies have disenfranchised people, like what I just said with the USAID. Not to mention the cuts to healthcare access, food stamps, the war,
Hmm.
the inflation.
I'm
Like,
actually curious about inflation. Can we talk about like the economy for a sec?
sure.
Um, because I did look it
Actually,
up.
wait, before we do so, can I thank some people and catch up real quick? And
Yeah,
then we
go
can,
ahead.
yeah, for sure. All right. Samaya, thank you very much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make sure to keep that to myself. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I can help. As well as Nancy, thank you very much for the $25. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much, Nancy. I really appreciate the $25 on PayPal. Thank you very much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, of course. As well as, let me thank some other people. There's other people who have thanked me over here on PayPal. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Terrence, thank you very much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. I know, right? They don't believe that at all now. Lori, thank you very much for the $16.50. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you very much. As well as Laura, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mask. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Of course, I totally agree. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some W's for them in the comment section right now. And Astrid, thank you so much for the dollar. Oh my god, I'm so sorry to hear that. Just know that you're appreciated as always. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Some W's for them in the comment section. Bill as well. Thank you for the dollar. Thank you very much. I'll have to check. Trump is having a meeting right now. Oh, that was old news? Okay, for sure. Well, thank you very much. As well as Amber, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Of course, I always will. Amy, thank you for the $25. Thank you very much, Amy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. And then hey, it's just Julie. Thank you very much for the $50. Thank you very much on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for treat you and your girl for something nice. Don't ever listen to those people just because they'll try to get a rise out of you and Dean to get a reaction. Of course, I know that. I know that myself. As well as MAGA people are generally afraid of the truth, but that will come out soon. Trust. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Just Julie. Thank you very much. Give some W's for Julie in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. As well as Wispy, thank you very much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. Give some W's for Wispy in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. Oh my god, the voice crack was diabolical. As well as Ghost, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I totally get you there. Thank you very much. Adorable, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. As well as Mike, thank you very much. The $5. Thank you very much. Bran with the $2. Thank you. Jason with the 20 euros. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know how I do it sometimes, honestly, as well. Justina, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I loved watching you adapt your approach to abortion examples to the ones. Absolutely, yes. I think it's important to be able to adapt examples. It's really, really important. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Get the W's for them in the comment section right now. And I'm glad that I was able to boost your mood. Thank you so much, Justina. I really appreciate it. And just know you always have people believing in you. Just know that. As well as, oh my God, holy shit, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Rhiannon, thank you so much for the $500 over on PayPal. That is crazy. Thank you so much, Rhiannon. I really appreciate the $500. That is crazy. Holy shit, thank you so much, Rhiannon. Holy, thank you so much. Give some W's for Rhiannon in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. That is seriously so kind of you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That is crazy. Thank you so much, Rhiannon. Alrighty, you can continue. I apologize. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. So actually, I looked it up. This was a couple weeks ago, so I don't know, with the war, everything's kind of changing, on a consistent basis. But a couple weeks ago, I looked it up, and it actually 2 years into the Biden administration, the interest rates now are higher, but actually everyday living like gas, groceries, etc. It's more affordable now than it was 2 years into the Biden administration.
If you're talking about 2 years, yeah, that's due to things that weren't caused by the Biden administration. That was due to inflation that happened globally all around the world due to the pandemic. And that was downstream of those conditions, not due to the conditions that Biden caused. Whereas right now, specifically, the inflation that we're seeing under Trump is downstream of the very things that Trump has done himself. For example, his war with Iran and his tariff policy. His war with Iran has caused gas prices to go up because it's reduced the level of distribution of oil all around the world due to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Whereas under the Biden-Harris administration, the cause for the increase in gas prices, for example, was the OPEC 2020 deal signed by Trump, not by Biden, along with the Russia invasion of Ukraine.
Right, but then like why did Biden stop I don't know the name of it, but the major like oil
The
thing that
Keystone
like
XL pipeline.
mhm.
So that was shot down by the Supreme Court, and Biden followed through with the order.
Right. But that, had a very terrible impact on our economy
No, it
because
didn't,
it
because that
shot.
Keystone XL pipeline was never even built in the first place. That was a project to build it,
Mm,
and it would have been
okay.
Canadian owned pipeline that comes from Canada, and it would have specifically brought tar sands, which isn't even really used for gas, right? Tar sands oil. It's kind of used for like plastics and like asphalt and things like that. So it's not really even really used for that. And Trump would have even tariffed that because he imposed tariffs on imports.
Mm, okay. I have a couple other opposing views, but I actually have to go right now. I can't keep talking anymore. But
All right, well,
thank you for your time, and
for
it
sure.
was
You're welcome to come back if you want to do so. Well, thank you very much.
bye.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual here, quick. Only do send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are